Good evening and welcome to another episode of the NFL Blitz by the Up and Running podcast. We are glad to have you here with us tonight. Get ready for a big Thursday night matchup between the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Football Giants. Well, folks, I did better last week. Went 8-8. The Jets got a win over New England, who looks just horrendous. But on the flip side of that, the Jets with Aaron don't look like they're firing on all cylinders. It wasn't the blowout you would expect. Hopefully they can do better. Sometimes getting the win needs to be more than just getting the win in that situation. The Giants go into Cleveland and catch a win. Cleveland might be as bad as they've ever been. And watching Baker Mayfield, that is a true position that they failed at with Deshaun Watson. What a horrible, horrible thing to happen. Green Bay comes away with another win against Tennessee. Another win for a backup quarterback in Jordan Love's absence. Hopefully Love comes back soon so we can see some more of that firepower. But Green Bay's 2-0 without him. Hopefully he doesn't lose his position. The Colts had easy business against Chicago. Anthony Richardson doesn't look like much, but Caleb Williams is seriously in trouble. Although his whole team is terrible, apparently since Justin Fields left, he has no weapons or anything. Fields is doing just fine in Pittsburgh as they come away with another win as Herbert gets out of this game. Pittsburgh is 3-0 and leading the AFC North. Minnesota beats Houston. Minnesota's a surprise. Sam Darnold either figured out how to play football or Minnesota was just that good and needed a better coach and a better quarterback to do their business. Sorry, Kirk Cousins. New Orleans and Philadelphia laid an egg. Philly comes away with a win there. Big win for them. Know some people that went down there. Congratulations for winning in the Big Easy. Tampa Bay comes away with a loss against Denver with nothing. Did Bo Nix show out? Maybe. But Tampa Bay was just a false prophet there. Absolutely nothing with them. They suck just like we thought they did. And look at what Andy Dalton is doing with Carolina. Las Vegas thinks they're going to win this game at home. Carolina comes in. Andy Dalton shows out, the first quarterback, 300 yards, 3 touchdowns in a game this season, and wins. Bryce Young, you'll be on the bench the rest of the season, barring injury. This man got it done. The red rifle has shown back up. Holy smokes. Can Carolina get it done this week? We'll find out in segment 3. Miami versus Seattle. Boy, I was really hyped about this game. Do you think I picked Miami? No. You know why? Because Skylar Thompson's not a good quarterback. And guess what? He's not quarterbacking anymore because he got knocked out of the game. Seattle comes away with a big win there at home. They're doing things. Mason's mad. They're leading the West. And the 49ers are not. Baltimore and Dallas, another dud. Baltimore comes away with a big win, big lead. Almost loses the game there at the end. But Derrick Henry found that Alabama running going on, tearing up Dallas Cowboys. They can't stop the run. Who figured that? Dan Quinn leaves. The defense gets worse. And if Micah Parsons doesn't pick it up, 0 sacks through 3 games, there's going to be an issue. Or at least 0 sacks through the first 2. He might have had 1 in game 1, but I know the last 2, he's struggling. San Francisco and the LA Rams. The Rams mount a comeback. San Francisco's up 14-0 and lose this game to the Rams. Wow. With all the weapons they have, granted some of them have been out, Kittle, Debo, McCaffrey. You replaced McCaffrey with Mason. Did great in week 1. Let's see what happens in week 4. San Francisco got to come away with a win. They are 1-2 now at the bottom of the heap in the West, looking bad. Then we go to Detroit and Arizona. Arizona looked like they were going to put up some points. Everything was going to be hunky-dory there. Detroit comes in and beats them at home. They have a game this weekend against Washington with a team that put up some points last week. We'll see how that goes. KC in Atlanta. Kansas City handles their business just like normal. Maybe a little bit, for the first 3 weeks of the season, Kansas City's got some help from the black and white stripes. The Zebras out there getting it done. But they come away with a win in Atlanta, in a dome. Good for them. Travis Kelce still without a touchdown this season. Jacksonville and Buffalo, my goodness. If I'm Trevor Lawrence, I'm not playing football anymore. Josh Allen came in there and proved while he's the best quarterback right now in the league, showed what he could do, came away with 4 touchdowns in the first half, didn't even play most of the fourth quarter. They had it sealed up early and often. Good for them. I hate Buffalo, but, man, I really don't like Trevor Lawrence. Cincinnati and Washington, everybody has been on the Bengals in week 1 and week 3 against New England and the Washington Redskins, respectively. Washington comes away with a big win. Jaden Daniels shows up. Wow, let me tell you something. The kid found out how to do it. Looks smooth doing it. And it's not just the plays that he made. It's not just, he ran here. He threw this. He did that. It's the avoidance of the plays he didn't allow the other defense to make. man, he looked good. I tell you, I would be happy if I was a Commanders fan right now. But then again, we all know they are the Commanders, and they will be pretty bad. So this week, 8-8 didn't do great, but didn't do as bad as last week at 6-10. We'll see if we can do better this week. But right now, as we have done in the podcast, we are going to get into some common tips. We have a few things here for you that we're going to go over that make a big difference in the NFL. And for tonight, big stats for tonight involving quarterback Dak Prescott. So let me give them to you now. We start with totals of 50 plus. They are 4-0 to the under. If there's a total over 50, then you need to bet the under on that. It is not going to happen. It looks like 16-4 the last 2 seasons, and I believe it's 37 and like 11 for the last 3 seasons. Great stat there for all of those using the gambling websites. Green Bay, 15-3 against the spread with Matt LaFleur. 3-0 this season against the spread. Doing a great job, for the betting public for a Green Bay to be spread aware when they're playing the game and how they score. What has not been good for people betting against the spread is the fact that Vegas has been beating their brains out. This year, they are below 500. $100 better on each game would have been down over $1,000 already. It has been terrible against the spread this year. Not something to look forward to if that's what you're betting on. Biggest dog in each week, the first 3 weeks, is a winner, straight up a winner. That means that they went in or the other team came to and they beat them. Essentially, Cincinnati is on the losing end of 2 of those games, which is absolutely insane. Dak Prescott, here's the bet for the night here. 12-2 at night against the NFC East, straight up and against the spread. But in his last 12 outings against the New York Football Giants, the Cowgirls, led by Dak Prescott, are 12-0. 12-0. And honestly, as bad as that team has been, they have got to pick it up to fall in a 1-3 hole. Look for Dak Prescott to do his thing tonight, come out and show why he's getting paid $60 million a year, and come away with a big win against the New York Football Giants. So a few tips there to help the betting public. Hope you all enjoy. Those are Tallman's tips. And as we move forward, we'll have more of those in the college football realm next week during the Up and Running pod. And as we move forward in the NFL each week, he will be giving us more things. Now, we are jumping straight into the NFL Week 4 preview. And let me tell you, you start out with a doozy. The Dallas Cowgirls versus the New York Danny Dimes-led football Giants. Let me tell you something. It's got to be a get-right game for the Cowboys. They are struggling. Their GM has been horrible for 30 years. He better get right and get right soon. You got a quarterback you're well overpaying. You got a receiver who you waited to strike a deal with who hasn't done much. You've got a defense that is getting shredded in between the tackles, outside the tackles. If they put the ball in somebody's hand and it's not a pass, they're going to get some yardage, as Derrick Henry did last week. Now, you're running up against one of the best running backs of all time last week. This week, not so much. The New York Giants aren't great. Saquon Barkley does not play for them anymore. Their quarterback is horrendous, but their new weapon, Malik Neighbors, might terrorize this defense. Who knows what you're going to do? If you put your number one cornerback on them, then you got your backside that probably needs some help because your back end is horrible in Dallas. Who knows what they're doing? Who knows how they're going to remedy it? But I can tell you, the first thing I'm doing is Micah Parsons is going to be the number one man to the football. He might not have a spot on the line he lines up. He might just be eyeing the quarterback the entire time, especially on passes. Just free him up, blitz him, everything. Whatever you've got to do, get this man in the backfield to disrupt and allow him to handle his business. Go tight on the insides, allow Dallas to score a bunch of points, which is what they're going to need to do to beat the Giants, who are not incapable of scoring, but aren't the greatest scoring team. But you haven't been able to do anything this season after game 1. So let's see what happens there. Being held to under 30 points in both games. Try to make a comeback on Baltimore in garbage time and let the Saints just run all up and down the field on top of you. So with that, though, I do pick the Cowboys. I do give them the most confidence points. They're at 16 tonight. I need Dallas to win. Get it done. Saints at the Falcons and NFC South showdown. I really don't know what to do here. The Saints have shown promise. Again, they did beat the Cowboys. They beat the brakes off of them. The Atlanta Falcons have shown they can play. Kirk Cousins is a good quarterback who can be great sometimes. Who knows what's going to happen? Depends on who shows up in this game. But I did pick Atlanta this week at home against the Saints, who took a bad loss this past week. Rams and the Bears, you couldn't ask for a better game for the Rams, who are depleted everywhere. They are hurt up and down defense, up and down the offense. Looks like, they're going to have to get it done this week in Chicago. Weather should be okay, decent fall weather there, but the Bears are awful. There's no chance I'd ever pick them. I give this a high ranking on my confidence picks. Can't give them out because if Brueggemann listens, he'll steal mine and probably win this week. But I am taking the Rams. Go St. Louis, even though they're in Los Angeles. Go St. Louis this week. Vikings and the Packers. That is an NFC North divisional game. Vikings win. They're going to be legit. It's going to be hard to beat them. 4-0 is a really good start for them. Lose, they're still good, but the Packers really need this divisional win, even though they're not 0-3, but they need this. If Love comes back, it's going to be a really great game. I really like to see what they can do between each other. But in this week, I did put some low points on them and took the Packers. Next up is the Steelers at the Colts. Anthony Richardson hasn't been what he was supposed to be. The Steelers defense looks like it's great, holding people to under 20 points. The Steelers offense, although it's not strumming along at 30 points a game, doing enough to win the game, and that's what Steel City has always been about. They've never been a high-scoring offense that just beats you on the offensive side of the ball. Their defense has always been strong. I've got the Steelers with a mid-range pick here. Looks like they're going to take care of the Colts in a dome. No weather affecting them. Jets and the Broncos, well, another tough game, but you got to give it to the Jets. They've got a great defense, one of the top defenses in the league. Should be based on paper and the stats they're putting up this season. And on the offensive side of the ball for them, they got one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game, at least in a Green Bay Packer uniform, because in a Jets uniform, we haven't seen much out of them yet. Is Bo Nix going to replicate what they did last week? Who knows? But I've got the Jets with high points, hoping they come away with a win. Tampa Bay took a shocking loss last week. Philadelphia looks like they can handle their business. Definitely took Philly in this one, looking to get it done. The next game is really hard. You can't be 0-4 and make the playoffs. That's not going to happen. Cincinnati needs a win at Carolina. Can Andy Dalton do it again, or is he a one-trick pony this season? We will see. But Cincinnati has a lot of weapons. They've had practice time to shore up some things. They are playing Carolina, and they are bad left to right. So took Cincinnati, low points. Let's see what happens there. Jaguars and Texans. Houston's coming away. I'm going to tell you right now, this is a 2-touchdown game. C.J. Stroud's going to get right, get back to his form from last year, hopefully not have that continuous sophomore slump looks like he'd be running into. And then one of the game of the weeks that I want to watch, only because it's local here, Washington and Arizona, Kyler Murray, Cliff Kingsbury, kind of having a little revenge match for both of them. The former head coach is coming back, and he's going to see what happens there. Kyler had a great week last week, but Jaden Daniels was on fire. If they can keep that offense going and the defense can shore up a few things to the defensive line, get the tackles to do what they need to do, especially get the higher paid tackles in their running plays, that's when you're getting shredded. When they're out the game, that is really tough. But the back end for Washington is terrible, so they're going to have to get to the quarterback, have to get to Kyler Murray and do some things there. But I have Washington low points. I think they'll pull off the upset again. Next game, this is the get-right game of the week. I know I keep saying that, but there are a lot of teams that shouldn't be 1-2, that shouldn't be 0-3. The biggest thing for this game is this team needs to show up and do what they need to do offensively and defensively, ensure themselves that they are who everybody expected them to be this season. One of the things that they have to do, and it comes down to something that people argue about for the last 3 years, is he good enough? Is he a top tier? Brock Purdy has to avoid the turnover this week as they face the Patriots at home. Let me tell you something. That's my second favorite game of the week. The 49ers come away with a win, possibly a 2-touchdown win, maybe even 3. Use the weapons. Utilize what you got. Debo's close. Kittle's close. Probably not this week. Rest them. You're not going to burn them here. But 49ers big time. Go Mason. Go 49ers. Next is the Browns and the Raiders. Look, you just can't trust Cleveland, and you really can't trust Vegas. But they are at home. They are playing the Browns. Hopefully they come away with a win. I've got the Raiders this week. We will see what happens. Devontae Adams is not happy. Get the man involved. He knows what he's doing. Then it's the Chiefs and the Chargers. Listen, if Herbert can't go, the Chiefs are going to run up and down the field against these guys. Travis Kelce gets his first touchdown. Rashee Rice is tearing it up. They're going to do things that make it very easy for them to handle their business. Patrick Mahomes will dice this Chargers defense up. The offense won't do much, and the Chiefs defense will handle them pretty well. I'm thinking a 24-3, 31-3 score there. Bills at Ravens, the game of the week. if you want to talk about two powerhouses going at each other, the Ravens are 1-2. The Bills are 2-1 or 3-0. Probably to write that down their records if I'm gonna reference them. But anyway, nobody wants the Bills to win. I want them to go down. They put up pounding. The last 2 weeks they've been up 30-plus points on the teams they've been playing. And I got the Ravens this week. If Derrick Henry can do half of what he did against the Cowboys, if Lamar Jackson picks it up because the Bills defense is going to handle it, let me tell you something. The Ravens are going to handle their business. You're playing in Baltimore. Edgar Allan Poe might have to come out and read some of his work when he gets done to scare the Bills off. They are just lighting it up, and I really hate to see it. But Bills Mafia, you're not going to survive in Baltimore. Baltimore's going to handle their business. Come on over to the dark side. Low points on the game because you just never know. But the Ravens will beat the Bills this week. And then the 2 Monday night games, doubleheader, means nothing for this game. Tennessee at Miami. I took Miami. Just see what happens. A new quarterback. Tyler Huntley might be playing off the Baltimore practice squad. Skylar Thompson's out. You just don't know. They got weapons. Are they going to use them? What are they going to do? But I'm telling you right now, I'm taking Miami with 1 point. That is my lowest confidence game of the week. And then the Seahawks at the Lions. Can Detroit keep the run going? Can they keep handling their business? Can Seattle keep the run going? Can they handle their business? I think it's too much for Geno Smith. Also playing in Detroit, that fan base is coming on strong, thinking they're going to get it done year in and year out. Last year, NFC Championship lost. Let's go Detroit. Got them this week. Think they're going to get it done. Really, really excited about this week. There's a lot of good games. It starts with Thursday Night Football. Then you have the Bills at Ravens for Sunday Night Football and Monday Night Seahawks at Lions. A couple games sprinkled in there that mean something or it could be fun to watch. Steelers Colts will really give you an idea of where the Steelers are. Washington, Arizona shows you if Jaden Daniels is for real or if Cincinnati is the worst team in the league once they lose to Carolina or once they beat Carolina this week. Let's see how they do there. I got them winning, but there's a definite chance they could lose. But, at the end of the day, Miami Dolphins through and through. It's really sad what's going on. Ryan Tannehill's sitting on the couch. Like, can we go find a quarterback that's capable? Bryce Young's being offered up trade rumors. Let's go pick him up. He's an Alabama guy. Maybe he can handle this system. I don't know. But Miami's done. Great week this week. Hope y'all enjoy it. I know I am. Thursday Night Football is going to be great. You're going to see Danny Dimes for the New York Football Giants versus Dak Prescott and the Cowgirls. Get some popcorn. Get you a cold beverage, maybe some nachos. We're going to be doing up with lasagna soup. So I'm excited about that. Got some softball tonight. Hopefully got the early games so I can get back and watch. We're going to have a great time. I hope you do too. Enjoy your football. Don't forget, Georgia, Alabama, this weekend, okay? Saturday night, SEC fight going down. Roll Tide, beat those dogs. Everybody have a good one. At Bama Turk 46 on X. Peace. We'll see you next time.